Hey guys, so in part 2 of this splash art series, I will be showing you how I colored the Beastmaster. But before I start talking about the splash art, this entire painting process, I just want to thank you for coming over to my channel, because it means a lot to me. I really feel like there are actual people here watching me on YouTube and interacting with me. It all feels very organic. When I get engagement on YouTube from all of you, it really feels real, like I'm interacting with real people. And I just don't get that kind of feeling from like Instagram and Twitter. It's just filled with bots, man. Like it's just so many bots, it's crazy. But yeah, over here on YouTube is great, so very thankful. And I reply to every comment, so if you have anything you want to ask, go ahead and ask me below. So before I recorded this thing, I actually tried making the underpainting of this splash art. So I took the line art that I did and put it in another canvas, and I did some warm up over there. I laid down some colors, some base colors, like an underpainting, which is like stuff that you're supposed to paint over, just so it's not pure white. But I didn't do it very carefully. It's all very loose, wasn't anything special, but that ended up looking good. So I thought instead of just deleting what I did, I would just keep it, because I kind of got carried away. And instead of just adding the base colors, the underpainting, I also like rendered the Beastmaster's hair, this red hair. So what I did was, since it's it would be a shame to delete it, I would just copy everything I did, which wasn't really much to begin with, but I copied everything anyway, and I put it into my real splash art file. And from there I kept on painting. I continued to paint. These brushes that I'm using now, they belong to 2 brush packs of mine, and I'm using quite a lot in this painting. I'm using about like 4 or 5. The first one belongs to my hand painting brush pack, and the other one belongs to my stone brush pack, both of which you can get from my Gumroad store, although the one that has been currently updated, I think I updated it about 2 weeks ago, is the stone brush pack. So if you want to get that now, you can. The hand painting one, the one in my Gumroad store, is not updated, and the one I'm using for this painting, the brushes I'm using from my hand painting brush pack, I'm still working on these. They're still a work in progress. They're not perfect yet, but if you have already downloaded the hand painting brush pack, I will let you know when I do update the brush pack, because I'll send out an email so you'll see it, and all you have to do is just download the thing again and then put it back into Procreate, and it should be updated. And the reason for that is because I do use my own brush packs. I use them all the time for every single drawing, and I'm constantly perfecting them, because as an artist, I do improve, I do change, and I'm not always satisfied with the current state that my tools are in, so I always try to perfect them. And if you've downloaded my brushes before, do expect for me to make some changes and update them over time. Sometimes I'll even do overhauls, and they can look very different in the future, but definitely better. But having said that, you don't actually need these brushes of mine to do what I'm doing. You can just use your favorite ones, because what really matters the most is the technique that I'm using. Like how I squiggle, how how I make zigzags, or like how I paint underneath the line art. And I don't really use any weird gimmicks. I don't go in with multiplies and linear burns and linear dodges like early. I don't do that at all until the very end, so that's what matters the most. But if you'd like to use the same exact brushes I'm using anyway, just to produce the same type of texture, then yeah, go ahead and download my brushes. I got a lot of free ones too that you can check out. It's all in my Gumroad store, links below. And I tried to approach this painting, this entire thing, like it's a traditional painting, like an acrylic painting. So imagine it's like doing my best to deprive myself of undoing or even erasing, because like in real life you can't exactly erase, once you put down paint, it's there. Like you can't do anything about it. If you want to get rid of something, then you have to paint over it. You can cover it up with more paint, another color, or you can even cover it up with white and then cover that up with something else. So yeah, that's the kind of approach that I'm taking for this. It might seem extreme, but I assure you it's actually easier than like thinking way too hard about what type of blending modes I'm supposed to use next, because all I have to worry about now is color. It's just one thing I have to worry about, it's just color. It's much easier that way. Because like if I see, let's say an arm, like a whole arm painted messily, all I have to do is just paint over the entire thing using a color that is better, instead of fixing like 4 or 5 different layers just because I used way too many blending modes. Like it's confusing that way. Painting this way is much easier. It's like if I see a spot that needs to look brighter, then I'll use a brighter color, and if I see a spot that needs some shadows, I'll just use a different color that is darker. Sometimes I'll even go for just black, like straight up black, like black. I know like a lot of people don't use black, but I do. I mean, like Renaissance painters use blacks and those look fantastic, so why shouldn't I? And people, when they use traditional media, like I come from traditional, when I use like acrylic, well, I use black and white, like I'm not afraid of using black. So the way you mix color with traditional media is by just mixing everything with black or white anyway, so I don't see why using black is such a bad thing. I actually think it makes it look way better. So I'm not afraid of using black. And also how you're seeing me paint now is not how I would normally paint, because I don't usually paint one corner from start to finish. I don't make one corner look rendered before moving on to the next. I like it when everything sort of comes together all at once, so ideally I should have made everything look rough and made it all look perfect only at the end. But I kind of did the opposite. I kind of just rendered out this Beastmaster all the way down to the near finish. And that is just because of lack of experience. Because I've never painted something this big before. And I don't know why I did this. I think it's because I needed that reassurance that everything's going to be okay. So instead of painting everything roughly and then perfecting it only at the end, which would have really made me anxious, I think really rendering the Beastmaster now before I move on to everything else made me feel a lot better. Like having that one rendered thing inside of this huge painting that I haven't touched yet, like everything else is untouched. I think that just made me feel a lot better. Like, I can just keep on looking at the Beastmaster and she'll be like the anchor for the rest of the painting in terms of quality. You know, like hopefully I can make everything else look like her. And as I've said many times before, I don't usually do multiplies and linear dodges and color dodges and all that early. I do that only at the very end. So you will notice how everybody will look gloomy and scary, but yeah, at the end they will all look much better. And the progress I'm making now is quite nice. Like, I managed to show you one corner of the painting, the Beastmaster, you know, pretty much finished. Hopefully I can keep the rest of the splash art looking just as good as she is. Because from experience, even though I've never done something this big before, just from experience, one corner of the painting can end up looking different than the rest of the painting. Like, the Beastmaster might look worse than the rest of the painting as I keep painting, or the Beastmaster could look like she's the best thing in the painting and everything else will look worse. But yeah, that kind of thing sucks. So I guess for painting this big, it's all the more important for me to really step back and spend way more time not painting. You know, instead of just painting, I should spend a lot of time just observing and just looking at it. Because keeping everything looking like they're the same quality is very, very important. Like, I don't want to look like I don't know what I'm doing, you know, like I want this thing to look like it's made by the same person at the same time of my life. You know, I don't want to make it look like I made the Beastmaster today and everything else I made like 2 years ago, you know, like making everything look like they're the same quality is a big deal. So yeah, hopefully everything can look just as good as she is. And now here is the Beastmaster looking quite rendered. There's still about 5% more work left that I have to do for her, but I will do that only at the very end. And even though it's like 5%, it's going to make huge changes, so stay tuned for that. Subscribe so you won't miss it, because I'll show you. And if you like this video, please go ahead and leave a like. Also say hi, comment. You can ask me anything and I'll answer. Make sure to catch part 3 of this video. I make lots of videos just like this one, so watch all the other videos in my channel if you're interested. Oh, I have a Gumroad store where you can download my brushes. There are free ones too that you can check out. You can commission me on vegan if you'd like. The links to all of this is in the video description, so visit that and click on the links. And that will be it. Thanks a lot for watching. I really appreciate it. And I'll be seeing you again in the next video.